Tracking some more breaking news coming in at this hour, we're learning that 3 areas in Tel Aviv of Israel have been hit. There's also been reports of there being a major fire. Now, there's been a fire at a warehouse in Bareket. We're learning that there haven't been any casualties in the fire so far. Apart from this, sirens are also blaring all across Tel Aviv of Israel. We're learning that several missiles have also been intercepted by Israel's Iron Dome. This is the latest that we're tracking at this hour. There are visuals present on your screens at the moment. Now, that's the fire I was talking about. That is the fire at a warehouse in Bareket. However, we're learning that there have not been any casualties so far reported in this fire. Apart from this, sirens are blaring all across Tel Aviv in Israel, as of course Iran is launching missile strikes over Israel in Tel Aviv. We're learning that these missiles have been intercepted by Israel's Iron Dome. This is the latest that we're tracking at this hour. Remember, the tensions in the Middle East are only escalating by the day. We also have my colleague Vishal Vivek joining us on the broadcast. Vishal, walk us through the details. We're understanding the sirens have been sounded once again in Israel.
And this comes amid reports that Iran could have fired, ballistic missiles laced with cluster munitions. So this is a very controversial point in the war because so far there were no reports of cluster munitions being used. Why are cluster munitions so controversial? Because they are almost outlawed across the globe. All the human rights agencies, all the UN agencies, they have put a ban on this, but they continue to be used across many platforms, whether it's a Ukraine war, and now we are seeing in this war as well. So what they do is they, spread across a larger area, because each munition has many sub-munitions that can spread across kilometers, that can do damage to civilians, and that can remain unexploded for years, and that can explode later. So it's a very dangerous form of munition that Israel has accused Iran of using. No word from Iran on that, but this is a sharp turn in the strategy that Iran has been using. These missiles seem to be cluster munitions is what we can gather. Of course, Israel has been accusing Iran of using these munitions for a while now. Where they are getting these munitions from, that is also another question. Whether it's Russia or China, or they have developed it themselves. So these questions remain to be answered.
Well, Vishal, you very rightly mentioned that, cluster bombs are banned by major international treaties. But, because you mentioned the legality of it all, I also want to understand, there are questions looming over the legality of this very war, talking about how there was no imminent threat that was present to either the United States or Israel. Walk us through how exactly is the world perceiving this?
Yes, and if you look at the US politics closely, even, among his own ranks, there is some certain kind of push against the war. There is certain kind of, antagonism against the whole, idea behind the war. Because as you rightly mentioned, many reports suggest that the intelligence assessment inside the US community indicated to the Trump administration that there was no imminent threat to the US or its troops in the region. So what was the reason behind the war? That has not really been explained by the US administration. Israel, on the other hand, has been quite resolute, quite clear as to what its objective is. So Netanyahu, for that part, seems to be safe, but Trump needs to answer a lot of questions from within his own ranks, as I mentioned, and of course from the Democratic Party, which seems to be, going all guns blazing to, campaign against the war, because you have many top Democrat leaders such as AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who's, anyway, quite against Trump's policies. This time around, they seem to have gained a lot of ground. They seem to have this stage to speak about Trump's policy and question him. And this doesn't seem to be a very convincing answer from the Trump administration side.